Сейчас можно. О, хорошо!
Alexander Volkanovski still believes that Israel Adesanya is a better fighter than Alex Pereira and is confident that his City Kickboxing teammate will avenge his losses to the Brazilian in a potential rematch. At UFC 281, Pereira became the new middleweight champion by beating Adesanya via TKO in the 5th round. This was the 3rd time the Brazilian has emerged victorious over Adesanya. The 2 previous occasions were in the sport of kickboxing. Poatan also remains the only man ever to knock out the Nigerian-born Kiwi.
This guy is so small. I'm gonna stop this guy. Like what I did a couple minutes ago, I can do the same things. Taking him down and finish him there. This guy is so small. He's not my level.
Volkanovski recently posted a video on his YouTube channel and shared his thoughts on the main event of UFC 281. The great said, "I know Izzy will be back. I'm sure he'll get that rematch. I'll be very confident in that fight. From what I've seen, I still believe Izzy's the better fighter. I guess you just gotta be careful with Pereira. I guess Pereira is just one dangerous mother effer, so respect to him. Nothing but love for Izzy."
Again, obviously Islam looked strong, but I was surprised that Charles will still be able to get up and throw submissions, and he wasn't able to control him as well as I thought he could. And that just makes me more confident because I'm very, very hard, well, not only to take down, hold down. One thing I always say, especially these little short legs, they're very easy to get back to my feet. So that's going to be one hard thing. Getting me down is going to be a problem. If you do, I'm bouncing right back up, and it's going to be stand up most of the way through. So that's how I look at it. And again, you ain't going to land on me like that because I don't just stand in front of you. I don't just come forward and come in, straight at you in one line.
While there is no official confirmation yet, Israel Adesanya is expected to get his rematch against his old kickboxing nemesis soon. Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski is gearing up to face Islam Makhachev at UFC 284 in a super fight for the lightweight title. Israel Adesanya calls Alexander Volkanovski crafty and claims that Islam Makhachev will find it hard to keep the great down. Volkanovski is set to face Makhachev at UFC 284 in Perth in February next year. Appearing on an episode of the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh, the last stylebender shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated matchup between the Australian and the Dagestani. With Volk, I've tried to hold him down. I'm not the greatest wrestler, but even with my frame and my leverage, it's hard to hold him down. He finds his way back up, a crafty veteran. His inside leg kicks, his jab, his hand control, all that shit. Israel Adesanya continued, "I could bet my whole house on him. Volk is just different. Volk is just that kind of guy. Even when he cuts weight, the amount that he cuts, for him to have the cardio that he has in the later rounds, it is mind-blowing. The man's different." Islam Makhachev has dismissed the threat of a short guy Alexander Volkanovski, with the Australian gun waiting in the wings for a shot at UFC history in February.
Bring him here.
Get Volkanovski in here!
Volkanovski was the backup fighter for Makhachev's UFC 280 lightweight title fight against Charles Oliveira, and is ready to step in if either fighter encounters issues making weight for the main event. Given his willingness to volunteer himself with no guarantee for a tilt of glory, UFC President Dana White said that it makes sense for Volkanovski, the reigning featherweight champion, to get a shot at the belt next. However, Dagestani mauler Makhachev isn't all that impressed by the Australian, describing him as a short guy ahead of his Abu Dhabi fight. "Honestly, I met Volkanovski downstairs. He's a short guy," Makhachev said during UFC 280 Media Day via MMA Fighting. "I asked him, why you need to cut weight right now? But if I beat Volkanovski, people are gonna say I beat a smaller opponent, but people are always gonna talk. Right now, I want to fight with Charles, and I hope he's gonna make weight, but it doesn't matter. This camp, I trained so hard. It doesn't matter who's gonna be there. Saturday night, I need someone."
Were you expecting that?
No, I wasn't. It worked out perfect, you know what I mean? How good was that? It was just, I was there, like, obviously watching closely because I wanted to fight whoever won. I was expecting, hoping that like maybe my name got mentioned in maybe the post-fight speech or whatever you want to call it in the octagon, or maybe when they did the press conference after it. Then they started calling me out and all this. I'm like, that's why you see videos of me going, "Can I go in? Like, let me in. This is a good moment, please." And then they let me in. I was like, yeah, sweet. How good's this? So, definitely.
Oliveira was controversially stripped of the lightweight title before his previous fight with Justin Gaethje, having failed to hit the required weight of 155 pounds for the title fight. Should a similar situation occur again, Volkanovski would be poised to step in and keep the championship fight alive. But Makhachev is not concerned about the possibility of the Brazilian missing weight, and adds that he still views him as the man to beat at lightweight, despite no longer owning UFC gold. "He's a champion, but he'll have to show all the fighters a good example," Makhachev said. "He has to be professional. I hope he's gonna make weight this time. Right now, he's a champion. Right now. Right now he's the best lightweight, but I don't think he's the best. Right now I know this is my moment. I believe in right now, I'm the best lightweight in the world. Alexander Volkanovski is relieved that he didn't have to fight Islam Makhachev at UFC 280 for the lightweight title, declaring their upcoming bout as the best case scenario.
Yeah, Perth's where it's definitely planning to be.
Okay, and it wouldn't be anywhere else. That's kind of the target.
Yeah, Perth. I'm fighting in Perth 100%.
Okay, so, and that's
The Australian has yet to pen a deal for a bout with Makhachev that would see him compete for gold in his second division in the UFC, but has already begun training with a February date in his home country as the ideal scenario. The pair shared a heated face-off after Makhachev won the belt from Charles Oliveira in Abu Dhabi last month and will likely headline UFC 284 in Perth. Volkanovski is the current featherweight champion and is also ranked as number 1 pound for pound in the world by the promotion. He has never lost under the UFC banner, and with wins over all the top contenders at 145 pounds, he has started restructuring his camp in an effort to move up in weight. He had gone to Makhachev's fight with Oliveira as the official main event backup fighter, and made weight at 155 pounds despite not ending up getting on the card. And now, the promotion is rewarding him with an immediate world title effort in his first fight at the weight since 2016. It's not all signed and locked in like that. Volkanovski told Mirror Fighting during an exclusive chat in New York, where he was supporting teammate Israel Adesanya at UFC 281. But that's still the plan. It's still what I'm pushing for, and I still think that's definitely what's gonna happen, and I'm committed to it. The story is there, and that's why I went over there and did what I had to do. Obviously, I had a short camp, didn't know who I was fighting, but I was happy to take all of that risk and commit to that, knowing that I would be next in line. And then I had a face-off call-out from Khabib and Islam. It just sets up for a big fight in Perth. I can't say too much on it because it isn't signed, but let's put it this way, we're gonna make sure that it happens. Volkanovski had broken his hand as recently as July when he faced the legendary former champion Max Holloway in a trilogy bout, but he insisted that he was able to compete last month, less than 3 months later, and took the spot of Beneil Dariush as the man who would step in if the main event were to fall apart.
Obviously, look, we're obviously pushing for it, and everyone wants it, we're going to make it happen.
Okay. But by February, he'll be completely healthy with a full camp, which will be necessary to hand Makhachev just his second career loss. He'll also have home advantage in Perth and claims that the circumstances that led to his upcoming lightweight title fight was perfect. The perfect world is exactly how this has worked out, he continued. That's how we wanted it. We wanted to go there, soak up a lot of the atmosphere, and be amongst it all. I had some stuff prepared, and I trained hard just in case I had to step in, but we would rather them fight, get a champion, and then fight me in Perth, which is exactly what happened. Now I'm fully committing to this, the strength programs, and diet plans. Wrestling coaches are involved early before camp starts. I've never really had to work on a takedown defense because I've always been so good at it. But now that I'm going to be putting in a lot more attention to it, trust me, I'm getting back to my feet. Let's see how good his stand-up is. That's what I'm going to do. People are going to say, will he be able to stop the takedowns? Don't worry, I'm getting back to my feet and everyone can say he's well-rounded. Let's just see how well-rounded he is because I'm going to test him on the feet and we'll see what happens.